Okay, so this meeting is being recorded. And now I'll really call the meeting to order. I call to order this meeting of the City of St. Louis Soldiers Memorial Commission. Today is Thursday, July 21st, 2022, and it is 3:04 p.m. My name is Linnea Magnuson, and I chair the commission. We will proceed according to the agenda. So the first thing on the agenda is the roll call of Soldiers Memorial Commissioners, and I will do that in alphabetical order. So first I have here is Kareem Barget.
Here.
Freddie Dunlap.
Here.
Here. Maurice Falls. No. Jason Fletcher. Nope, not yet. Tom Gilmore. I do believe Mr. Gilmore's here, but I'll check with him after the meeting. Judith Hansis. Is Judith here? I thought I saw her before. Judith, are you here?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Got it. I thought you were here. And then myself, Linnea Magnuson, and Bruce Yampolsky.
Present.
Great. I'd ask people if they could put their screens and that on mute, maybe if they're not speaking, just so we don't have a lot of background noise. I know you guys all know to do that, but just a reminder. So the next thing on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. And Bruce, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I'd be honored. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
And I got a new picture of our flag. My husband Mike actually took this at the Spirit of St. Louis Air Show in June. So I thought that was a pretty cool picture. So I thought I'd use that flag today. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the approval of the May 19th, 2022 and the March 24th, 2022 Soldiers Memorial Commission meeting. So let me just pull those up here. So this is the Thursday, March 24th, 2022 Soldiers Memorial Commission meeting minutes. If you want to look through them, and then when someone's ready, they can put through a motion to approve if you so desire.
Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
So moved.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from
Yes,
March
from
24th?
Judith.
Judith.
From Judith, yeah.
Do I have a second?
Enter your participant.
Second.
Thank you very much. All those in favor of approving the meeting minutes from March 24th, 2022, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? No. Any abstentions? No. The meeting minutes pass as presented here in the meeting. Now the next one is, let's see, we got those. These are the meeting minutes from the Thursday, May 19th, 2022 meeting. If you want to look through those, and then we can proceed from there.
So moved.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from May?
Yes.
Okay,
Bruce.
thank you, Bruce. Do I have a second?
This is Freddie, I'll second.
Freddie seconds it. Thank you. All those in favor of approving the meeting minutes from May 19th, 2022, please say aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? No. Any abstentions? Perfect. Thank you very much. Let me get back.
Hey, Linnea,
Yes,
I think I'm having audio trouble, but this is Jason Fletcher.
perfect. I thought you might be here, so that's great. I'll make sure that you're noted. Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Okay, let me go back to the agenda here. Okay, so the next thing I have here is Jody to talk a little bit about his new role as the president and CEO of the Missouri Historical Society. Welcome, Jody.
Sure. Thank you, Linnea. Good to see you. My name is Jody Sowell. I am, as of a week ago, Monday, president of the Missouri Historical Society. So I hope that I'm familiar with many of you. I have been with the Missouri Historical Society for 16 years, have been in St. Louis for 19 years. So I'm certainly not new to this community or new to this institution, but am new to the role. Very excited about what we have planned for the future. Plans to add more new core galleries to the Missouri History Museum. Plans to show more of our collection than we ever have before. And really excited about how we can capitalize and bring even more attention to Soldiers Memorial. I think that's certainly going to happen with the opening of the Vietnam exhibit, and excited to talk to all of you, to work with Mark on how we can bring even more attention to soldiers. So I was involved in the planning for soldiers and the new exhibits that were there. We had, of course, lots of people working on those, so I tried to only jump in when my help was needed or useful, but I felt like I was able to play a role in shaping some of the exhibits that you see there now, and very excited about what I can do in this role to bring even more attention to soldiers. So thank all of you for all you've done to make this place what it is, and I look forward to partnering with you in the months, years, and decades ahead.
Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Hold on a second. Does anyone have any questions for Jody? No? I've known Jody for several years now, and I was very excited to hear that you were going to be the new president and CEO. So I look forward to working with you and to all the good things that Missouri Historical Society and the city can do together at Soldiers Memorial, but just in general as well. So thank you very much, Jody, for coming to the meeting. And again, I'm very excited about this, and I look forward to working with you. So
and thank you.
Welcome, Jody.
Thank you. I've always appreciated your support and friendship as well, Linnea. So thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. No questions for Jody. You got off easy this time, Jody.
Well, I'm only accepting easy questions.
Well, that's good. Okay.
That won't always be the case.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can just move on then to Mark. And Mark, if you want to tell us what's going on at Soldiers Memorial, that would be wonderful.
All right. Thank you, Linnea. And I certainly echo your sentiments, Linnea. Excited to have Jody on board as the president and CEO and working under his leadership. I think there's great things in store for us. So it's an exciting moment again in Soldiers Memorial history. So I'll run through this as I typically do and kind of report out on recent changes in the various areas of operations, and then also kind of get you up to date on what's in the near future here. So operationally, just some notes on the Soldiers Memorial staff. Right now, actually, Lydia Prebish, who is our education coordinator, she's in North Carolina attending an NEH Summer Institute for Educators called the Contested Territory, America's Involvement in Vietnam, 1945 to 1975. So she is enmeshed in a team of scholars, Vietnam scholars, and also with school teachers from across the country. And actually a couple of school teachers from St. Louis are with her cohort there in North Carolina. So she is not only learning more about the war and how it affected America and Vietnam, but also how to deliver strong educational programs, especially to our younger audiences. So it's a really gem of an opportunity. She was the only museum professional who was selected to participate in that institute. The rest are all school teachers. So she is bringing a really unique and strong perspective to those group of educators, not only strengthening her own abilities, but also, teaching those educators about not only Soldiers Memorial, obviously, but museums in general and how they contribute to the education of our youth. So it's kind of a cool thing that's happening. So excited to get her back next week and to hear all about that and learn what she's been up to. And then Lindsay Davis, our visitor engagement coordinator, which essentially boils down to the development and the coordination of the many programs that we offer. She will be attending a project management course that's offered by the American Association for State and Local History, and that's next month for her, and that'll give her a stronger skill set in developing programs and managing all the multiple aspects of these projects and programs. So a great thing that's happening. Last time we met, I told you that Connor Stevens was coming in as an intern. He now has left. He was here for just a short time, but while he was here, he processed the educational collection. So there are a number of items that we have either purchased or are reproductions of historic items, and we use these with the youth. And that collection, you could call it, needed a great deal of organization. And so Connor spent the first part of this summer taking care of that. And then finally, in operations, our oral history room, which is located in the lower level, is fully equipped with all the sound and camera equipment that we need to conduct oral histories down there. And our part-time oral historian, Adam Presswood, has begun to schedule Vietnam veterans for interviews. Eventually that'll broaden out to all veterans, but right now with the exhibition coming up, the focus is on capturing some Vietnam veterans who we already have some relationships with, but do not have interviews with. So that work is commencing. In terms of exhibits, there's actually 2 temporary exhibits up at Soldiers Memorial right now. One is called The Battle at Home, Veteran Homelessness. This is up on the 2nd floor in one of the meeting rooms on the opposite end of the hall from the Jack C. Taylor Assembly Hall. And this is a panel exhibit that explores homelessness in the veteran community and the history of how we as a nation have dealt with or tried to alleviate this, and also brings attention to a number of St. Louis organizations that are contributing to helping solve this kind of tragic situation. This is an exhibit that was actually produced by our Teens Make History program. These are teen apprentices who spent about the last 10 months researching and understanding this issue, and then writing and developing the panels that are up in room 206 now. So that's an exciting addition to Soldiers Memorial. And it really is in line with a lot of what we're already doing. In fact, just this morning, I was in a meeting with the Veterans Leadership Committee. This is a committee of multiple organizations across the St. Louis area who are working in the area of veterans homelessness. And so they met this morning, and we're doing a lot of planning for the stand down event, which will be on September 17th. So kind of neat that we've built that relationship with that committee, and that they are in love with Soldiers Memorial and love to come here and have their meetings here now. So I hope that continues into the future. And then just next door to that room is we have just a short-term banner exhibition up called Uss Grant's Missouri. This was a banner exhibition that was produced by the Missouri Humanities Council, and that's here just through next Sunday, the July 31st. It primarily is supporting the Grant Symposium, which will take place here this Saturday, which is a day-long presentations. There's 4 different scholars who will be talking about different aspects of Ulysses S. Grant, and this has been an annual event now for 9 years. So looking forward to that. And in terms of programs, just kind of recap some of the things that have happened since we last met as a commission. Memorial Day was a really strong event. We probably had 200 to 300, I estimate, individuals in attendance. It certainly felt like our largest event in terms of attendance since the reopening in 2018. So it was really, really nice to see that. It was a nice day, a number of nice components to that. And I think it really is kind of establishing itself as the place to be on Memorial Day in St. Louis. Of course, there's wonderful, commemorative activities that take place at Jefferson Barracks, and those will obviously continue. But I also think that there's a good role here for Soldiers Memorial on Memorial Day. So that event continues to kind of flourish and develop into a nice thing. Next year in 23, we'll focus on the Vietnam War for Memorial Day. And then the year after that in 24, we're going to attempt to secure the traveling Vietnam Memorial Wall to St. Louis to commemorate that Memorial Day, which will also coincide with the closing of the Vietnam exhibit here at Soldiers Memorial. D-Day this year, around that time, we had a representative from LST 325, which is a landing ship that's based in Evansville, Indiana, which sounds really cool. You can go there and you can actually walk on board this thing and visit and tour around, but they sent up a representative to talk about landing ships and their roles, especially during the D-Day invasions. And then we worked with Pride Fest. We assisted the organizers of Pride Fest with the wreath laying ceremony here at Soldiers Memorial, the Saturday of Pride that weekend. We did see a good attendance boost over the weekend, including, and I think we were really excited about this, we always worry about, are we just a place for air conditioning and bathrooms? But actually, we saw a good number of people coming in who are very curious about the exhibits and learning more about the history in Soldiers Memorial. So that was really nice. And then just last week, we did a program with the National Archives that helped individuals understand the impacts of the 1973 fire and how it affects research and what records are available for researchers. So that was a virtual program. It's now on YouTube. I think it's incredible. It's really strong in trying to educate people who might be researching family history or other military history to really better understand what's available at the archives and how they can help you do that work. So that'll continue to live out there on YouTube for quite a while. And then, as Linnea said earlier, just yesterday, we had a nice Soldiers Memorial Giving Circle event. These are, folks that go above and beyond in their support and financial contribution of supporting Soldiers Memorial. And we had the NGA here talking about the lunar mapping and what it took to map the surface of the moon in order to enable the landing that happened just 53 years ago yesterday. So it was a nice event. And then earlier this week, we had crew members from the Uss St Louis, the current ship, LCS-19. They were here, and Mike Benso, our curator, provided them with a tour of Soldiers Memorial and also built some relationships. And they're, always interested in the museum and the collections and things like that. So we'll see where that goes. But that was a nice visit by the crew. And then we also recently received a call from reunion organizers of the LKA 116. And so this was the Vietnam era USS St. Louis, and they are coming to St. Louis in September, and we'll visit Soldiers Memorial, and we'll build that relationship as well. So that'd be a neat thing. Upcoming, like I said, on this Saturday, July 23rd, is the Us Grant Symposium. We're going to start with a wreath laying at the Grant statue just outside City Hall. And then it's that day-long symposium with the multiple speakers, and then an evening tour of Bell Fountain Cemetery. And then the day after that, up at the History Museum in Forest Park, from 11 to 4, this is on Sunday, July 24th, is a commemoration event for the 125th anniversary of what is now known as the Iron Riders. These were, this was the 25th Infantry, it was an all African-American corps, not corps, but squadron, regiment, sorry, who traveled from Missoula to St. Louis by bicycle. And it was the Army testing out the feasibility of bicycle transportation, moving large numbers of troops using bicycles. This was, again, 125 years ago. And at that time, bicycles were all the rage and very exciting. And then automobiles came along, and well, you know how that went. In terms of collections, just the committee just met on Monday, recommended the accessioning of newsletters from the CL-49, the USS St. Louis, the Lucky Lou, which was part of World War II. They had a newsletter, the Hubble Bubble, and in that newsletter, there's a lot of activity surrounding that ship, which at the time was owned by Brazil. And there was a lot of discussion about trying to bring that ship to St. Louis And eventually through a lot of those activities is how Soldiers Memorial, the city of St. Louis, ends up with the rudder indicator, which is on display here, and a number of other associated pieces to that ship. So these newsletters have been recommended for accessioning. And then other items are related to World War I military items related to Samuel Walker Forder. So that's a very quick rundown. I'm happy to take any questions. I know I throw a lot at you every couple months, but try to just kind of give you a scope of what's been happening and what's coming up. Of course, Veterans Day is also coming up, but probably talk about that at one of our future meetings. A little bit of time yet between here and there. So, but happy to field any questions or address any other things that I didn't talk about.
Any questions for Mark? I think actually Sunday is also the final day of the Tour de France this year, which is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is. And it's been a great Tour de France,
doesn't it? Yeah, it all comes together. And 125 years ago, that's about the time all these tours started in Europe. So
the history of the Iron Riders is really fascinating. It's so cool. They were riding these 30-pound bikes strapped with rifles all the way from Missoula down to St. Louis, and actually finished in Forest Park, which is why they're having this event at the History Museum there. It's literally where they finished the ride, and then they spent a little bit of time there before they went down to Jefferson Barracks. The commander of that unit wanted to do another ride, but that was rejected, and I think they eventually all boarded trains back for Missoula. But they did demonstrate that it was, you could do this. You could move, large numbers of troops by bicycle, and it's just a really cool history.
Horses, bikes. I mean, and I've actually read a little bit about the way they use bicycles in World War I as well. And it's amazing what they put on them, the equipment, and almost armored them in some ways. It's just interesting. Yep. So yeah, it's great.
That's been a partnership between the History Museum and State Parks. State Parks has had a big role in a lot of those commemorative activities, because they're doing things all across mostly across the Katy Trail in Missouri, some different events. So yeah, if you can come out for that, it should be interesting and a fun day.
Yeah.
Mark, it's Judith. Thanks for setting up such an interesting experience yesterday on the mapping of the moon. That was nothing short of amazing.
You're welcome. Yeah.
See how they were able to accomplish that.
I think the work of the NGA might be one of the biggest secrets in St. Louis, and I think it's just the what they do and how they contribute to national defense and things that are happening. And and they touched on that yesterday. So much of it is classified and really can't be shared with the public. But when we went down there to their little museum, which is at the Arsenal location, they had mapped the compound for Osama bin Laden, and their work
right.
Eventually went to a model maker who rebuilt modeled the entire structure, which was then used by the SEALs and other special forces during that raid. And it's like, this all happened right here. Like all of that planning. It's just so interesting and surprisingly just catches you off guard when you realize it all was right here in St. Louis. And pretty cool. I
agree, Mark. And that, and also the National Archives is another thing that's just amazing that's located here. But definitely, it was really interesting last night. And thanks. Yeah, I totally agree with Judah. Thank you again.
Yeah. Well, so much of that is, Lindsay Davis and organizing those programs, and, all that coordinating work that we tend to probably take for granted a little bit, how much goes into all those different events. And that's certainly on the staff and their efforts. So.
Any other questions for Mark? Questions for Mark?
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we sure can.
I guess, is it still echoing though?
A little bit.
Well, I was just going to ask about the USS St. Louis. I know that it was an exciting time to see the commissioning and the christening of it. And I think I read the other day that they may be decommissioning it because of some design flaws. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I could speak a little bit to that. So there are two major issues with the ship. One is in the gearing of the ship, which basically runs the ship and transfers the power, and it doesn't deliver the way that they kind of wanted or needed to deliver. And then the other weakness was in the anti-submarine warfare package on the ship, and that also has some serious issues. So the Navy had proposed decommissioning the entire line. There's 9 of those ships called the Freedom class littoral combat ship, and the Navy proposed that they decommission all of them. My sense is that the Navy felt like they were that they could make these corrections and they could invest in getting these where they need to be. But I think my sense is it may have been a little bit of a feeling like they were throwing good money after bad money at this point. And however, Congress did step in, and they can ultimately tell the Navy that you're not going to decommission these ships. And it looks like that's what's going to happen with at least a few of them. They may end up decommissioning some of them, but a few, I think, are going to be mandated by Congress to remain in service. And I think the USS St. Louis is one of those that will kind of survive this process, it sounds like. So I don't really know. I mean, there's a lot of questions that are begged about how did this, just a couple of years later, why was it not this identified earlier? I don't really know. I can tell you that those ships undergo a large trial period, where they're testing all of the different systems and all aspects of the ships, and that's when the Navy is still considered the customer. That's all being done by the shipbuilder, and the Navy then ultimately signs off on these trials and says that they have met their expectations. So I don't know where that disconnect is, and that's the part to me that I don't fully understand. How just 2 years ago they signed off on it, but now it's not apparently meeting their needs. So, but it does look like right now that there's much more to be written in that history, and that the ships may very well make it through this recommendation that they be decommissioned and actually survive that process. So we'll have to stay tuned for more, I guess.
Great, thank you.
You bet.
Any more questions for Mark? No? Okay, let me go back to the screen share here. Let's do this again here. And there we go. Okay. So let's see. Then the next thing on the agenda I have is call for questions, new business, and announcements. Any questions, new business, or announcements? Seeing none, I will move on to the last thing on the agenda, and I'm going to call to adjourn. Do I have a motion to call to adjourn the meeting? Anybody?
We're all having
All muted. Sorry.
We're all on mute, right. So I said so moved, so did Judith.
Okay, so I have a first and a second to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor of adjourning the July 21st, 2022 Soldiers Memorial Commission meeting, please say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? No. Okay, any abstentions? No. Thank you so much. The meeting is adjourned, and I look forward to seeing you all at the next meeting. I think it will probably still be online at this point, but it'll be Thursday, September 15th, 2022 at 3 p.m. Thank you very much. And thanks, Jody.
Thanks, Linnea. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Linnea.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.